To the 12th knowledge session today, our distinguished speaker is Jaithirth Rao, popularly known as Jerry Rao. Professor Rao is a distinguished alumnus of University of Chicago, IIM Ahmedabad, and Loyola College, Chennai. He is a businessman par excellence who founded several companies like Emphasis Value and Budget Housing Corporation, and Home First Finance. After his 20 years of career with Citibank, which included positions at various places in Asia, Europe, North America, South America, and in various roles. He's built up Citibank's India operations in retail banking, and then he was head of development division at Citicorp and chairman of CEO of Transaction Technology in California. Over the years, he has not left his close connect with the academics. He still teaches at IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Mumbai, and Loyola College. He has been entrepreneur in residence at Harvard Business School, US. He has been on boards of several companies, including Royal Orchard Hotels and Infrastructure Development Private Equity. Professor Rao is former chairman of India's National Association of Software Services Companies, NESCOM. He was named as the Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur for the Year in year 2001. He used to write a regular column in Indian Express and occasional columns in Seminar, Economic Times, India International Center, Quarterly, and Mint. Professor Rao has also published recently a book named The Indian Conservative. In 2005, in Karnataka state honored him with the Rajyotsava Award. And as you may know that Mr. Rao is the chairman of the board of trustees of FOSTIIMA Business School. And today you're going to get guidance from him that what should be your focus in the next 2 years at FOSTIIMA Business School. Over to you, Jerry.
Thank you, Sunil. It's a really very nice feeling, a privilege and an honor for me to be able to speak to all of you in these difficult times through this digital medium. Let me start at the beginning. First thing is, should you do an MBA at all? And my answer is an emphatic and unequivocal yes. I think the problem in terms of approaching your career, your life, employment, business opportunities, even if you want to start your own business, is that today an MBA has become almost a minimum entrance ticket. In its absence, you have a handicap. The real issue is not whether, the question is never, do you have an MBA? The question is always, why don't you have an MBA? Now, this is right, wrong, is not the relevant issue. This is simply a fact of the modern economy. If you want to be in business, it's like saying you want to be a doctor, but you want to MBBS. That doesn't work. If you want to work in management, to say that I won't have an MBA, but I will still try and do it, it simply does not work. The second thing is that it's not so much the degree or the diploma itself, but the approach it gives. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Because if you don't imbibe that approach correctly and sensibly in the next 2 years, you will be the losers. If you approach it correctly, you will be the gainers. So that's really the focus of what I want to talk to you about today. Okay. What are the questions people will ask? One is, MBA kiya hai? And the answer is, of course, kiya hai. Second is, kahan se kiya hai? Because if you have gone to a college, an institute in an unknown small town, it doesn't matter if it's a 500-acre campus and it's fantastic and all that, but people are not going to take it seriously. Similarly, if you have gone to an institute whose reputation is that it gives admission to rich people, it doesn't check on their marks. For 2 years, they have a good time, they go to parties, they don't learn anything, they just get a diploma, and that is not going to help you. That is meant for rich people who don't have to work. But if you get the right combination, and I think when you choose a place like FOSTIIMA, you choose the right combination, because you choose, first of all, an MBA program, and secondly, you choose an institute with the appropriate reputation. All of us have some IIM connection, and that is the best connection that is possible in India. So you are able to leverage the IIM connection without necessarily going to IIM itself, which is a very, very important plus that you will get in FOSTIIMA. Now, what should you do for the next 2 years? That's the most important question, because the general attitude in Indian college education, wherever you have done your college, your BSc or BCom or BTech, you go to a... This is the general positioning of an Indian standard college. Have a good time. There's nothing much and move on. That would be a mistake in FOSTIIMA. Not because you can't do that. Of course, you can do that if you want to. But because you will miss out. You will miss out on improving yourself. FOSTIIMA and the MBA, but the investment of 2 years for you. Think of it that way. The first thing is behavior. Normally in schools and colleges in India, when we grow up, it is always considered okay to make fun of your colleagues and other students. Hey, tu to mota hai. Hey, tere ko kuch nahi aata hai. Hey, tu kya karta hai? You know, the way we talk very disrespectfully to each other. And we rag people and we bully people. Small people, fat people, this one, that one, poor people, we bully them. This is all considered the way to behave. And nobody has told us that this is not sensible. As you get into remember, the first thing is this is a postgraduate program. This is not an undergraduate program. You are entering the world of serious adults. So the first thing is respect and courtesy. As soon as you go, shake hands. How are you? How can I help you? What's your name? My name is so-and-so. This is respectful. This is you really have to start with this, because you are changing the entire mindset of the previous 15 years, where everything is about hitting somebody, making fun of somebody, cracking jokes, looking down. I'm not saying you shouldn't crack jokes, but even that should be with respect. You cannot call somebody a motu or a kalu. I mean, these are not ways that you can become a successful manager going forward, and you have to start this on day one. I still remember going to IIM Ahmedabad. In every other college in India at that time, new students, freshers, would be ragged by the senior students. IIM was an exception. As soon as I went there, 2 seniors came to me, shook my hands and said, welcome, how can we help you? This is my name. So very different. It simply opened up my mind that this is a way to behave. This sets a tone of professionalism, because what is an MBA? An MBA is making you a professional manager. Think of a doctor. A doctor, when he talks to his patient, always talks kindly, courteously. He doesn't say, hey, दिखाओ, दिखाइए, थोड़ा आप कीजिए. He's been taught that that is the way you should deal with a patient. Now, this is the way you need to deal with colleagues, with respect, with courtesy. The second thing is, this is a time where you can have a lot of fun, and you will have a lot of fun. There will be picnics, there will be socials, there will be parties, there will be outings that you will do, treks and so on. You will enjoy yourself, but that's not why you're there. You're there to learn. So this business ki hum padhenge nahi, we won't study. You can do that, but that would be silly. And the person who is going to get hurt will be you. You are spending money, your parents are spending money. More than money, you're giving 2 years of your life. You're think of that as an investment, and to waste it by not studying is a very, very foolish mistake. You must use this 2 years, not to waste it, study. Now, if you don't want to study only by yourself, you can form study groups. There are different ways to study, but the fact remains you're here to learn. And it is not the duty only of the professor to teach. It is your duty, your job, your opportunity to learn. Teaching and learning go together. If you're not a proper learner, the best professors in the world cannot teach. So these are two things I want you to start with, which are attitude matters. One is respect, courtesy, dealing with other people as equals of respect, not joking, making fun, bullying, putting down. That is not going to work in life. And that's a very bad habit. Unfortunately, too many Indian schools and colleges teach. That is something you have to unlearn. You have to forget your previous 15 years of ragging and bullying and making fun and all that. You have to get rid of it and learn a new, respectful, professional, mature way of dealing with people. The second is, you have to work on your studies, and I will come to what are the issues in studies and how you want to work on them. What are the subjects that you are going to be taught? There are many subjects, particularly in the second year. You will take specialized subjects in digital marketing. You will take specialized subjects in logistics management. I'm not going to cover those. I want to talk to you about some general knowledge and general skills that is a foundation for all MBAs that you need to focus on, particularly in the first year. By the second year, after your summer job, you will know many more things, and you will be given choice of different courses, and you will be able to intelligently choose. But in the first year, what is it that you're looking at? And there are some myths that I want to destroy. Some people will tell you things and I want to eliminate them. And I want to give you other stories that you need to live. The first thing many people will come and tell you, yaar, ye accounting boring hai. Accounting is not necessary. Don't bother. Wo chartered accountant karega. Humko karne ka nahi hai. This is a big mistake. Please focus and learn accounting. If you don't learn accounting, what will happen is, in the future, you will get fooled. A person who knows, suppose you know English language, nobody can crack a joke and fool you because you know the language. Accounting is the language of business. If you know accounting, you don't have to be an expert, but you should know enough not to be fooled, which means you have to work on accounting assignments, and sometimes they can be very boring and very painful. But let me tell you, that is the only way to learn. If you talk to anybody who has learned the guitar or the violin, they will tell you that on some days they have been extremely frustrated and bored and angry. But that's the only way to learn the violin or the guitar. Similarly, business has to be learned through accounting. And in accounting, there are a few things that you need to absolutely stay focused on. There is one concept, and those of you who are taking notes, please take this note down. It is called accrual. Accrual is a very fundamental central accounting concept, and you must spend some time understanding it because it is not so simple. Because you can understand cash. I have given cash, I have got a book. Fine. That is accounting, one can understand. But I have sold you a book, but you are going to pay me cash after 10 days. How does one understand that transaction? Or you have come and given me petrol or diesel to run my factory. I am going to pay you after 30 days. This is the basic idea behind accrual. So even though a cash payment is not made, we understand that we have an obligation to pay or we have a right to receive. And please spend a lot of time understanding and internalizing this concept. This is fairly basic to the way business goes. Accrual is fairly basic. Once you understand accrual, rest of accounting will become clearer and clearer. Now, the second area, which again people will tell you, accounting we've covered, and accounting, as I've said, there are many concepts in accounting, but all of them come around accrual, so stay focused on that. That is the difference between old-fashioned khata and modern accounting is accrual. Economics. Everybody will say, that's a theoretical subject. Don't waste your time. It has no value. Again, don't believe that. Economics is fundamental to business. And in economics, there are two ideas that you must always be aware of. The first idea is that if you reduce price, you can sell more. If you increase price, you can sell less. Such a simple idea. If you want to sell more ice creams, you reduce the price of the ice cream. If you want to reduce the sale, increase the price. This is a very fun, but again and again, this will come back to you in your career. Is what we are talking about. And related to this idea, I must emphasize very much, just like accrual is there in accounting, a central idea in economics is that price has nothing to do with cost. Many people will tell you price is cost plus 10%, cost plus my profit margin. They are all liars. Price has nothing to do with cost. Price is what somebody is willing to pay for you. If you are selling a t-shirt, what is the other person willing to pay? Is that person willing to pay 50 rupees for your t-shirt? Oh, sir, I spent a lot of money. It has taken me 60 rupees to make. That is your problem. If you have made a t-shirt that costs more than 50, that is too bad. The customer is not willing to pay that. Similarly, if you are lucky, and you have been able to make a beautiful t-shirt for just 10 rupees, but the customer is willing to pay 50. Hey, that's luck. The customer is willing to pay, and usually he is willing to pay roughly what your competitor will give him of the same value, same price, same quality. So if you are unable to make a t-shirt at less than 50 rupees, you cannot be in business, because 50 rupees your competitors are willing to give. Now you can always say, no, sir, my t-shirt is better, it is red color, it is better than the other person. It doesn't matter. It's the customer's decision. So these are two ideas in economics. Again, the rest of economics is really built around these two ideas. The idea that low price you can increase sales, high price you can reduce sales, and the idea that the price has nothing to do with cost. So now we've done accounting, we've done economics. The third is really a combination, which is cost accounting. Cost accounting is how much does it cost for you to make something? And how do you decide that? What is, if you're making a t-shirt, how much did I pay for the cloth? How much electricity am I spending in making the t-shirt? How much labor am I paying to my labor to make the t-shirt? These are the three main items. They are called variable costs. Because if you don't make the t-shirt, there is no cost. Then there's fixed costs, your salary, office rental, etc. So this is the main, when you go to cost account, just like in main accounting, accrual you have to understand, and in economics you have to understand price and the fact that demand goes up if you drop the price. In cost accounting, you have to understand fixed and variable costs. And from there comes a very important fundamental idea called break-even. Keep notes on this. Over the next 2 years, if you can master these ideas, you are a great MBA. Because around each of these ideas, there are 20 more. I'm not going to cover all those 20. But these are the central ideas. What is break-even? Break-even is, if you cannot sell, if I am a Bhel Puri vendor, I must sell at least 20 boxes a day. If I sell less, 19 means I am losing money. If I sell 22, then I am very rich. That is the break-even. It's a very simple idea. It's not so simple, let me tell you. But remember again, I want to keep repeating this so that you don't forget. Accounting, subset, accrual. Economics, subset, demand curve. Demand goes up when price goes down. Price has nothing to do with cost. Leading to cost accounting, variable costs and fixed costs, and break-even analysis. Now you have covered what I would consider the basic disciplines in an MBA. But basic disciplines is not sufficient. You need sophistication in order to be able to be a good employee, to be a good manager, to be a good boss. What are those sophisticated disciplines that you need to look at over the next 2 years? There's 3 of them. And again, it doesn't matter. Many people will tell you, आपने MBA marketing में किया है, आपने finance में किया है, that's all rubbish. आप जो भी करो marketing, finance, doesn't matter. Minimum amount of these 3 basics that I talked to you about, and a certain amount of the 3 sophisticated disciplines, which are finance, marketing, and HR. I will talk to you 5 minutes about each of them. We've already talked in accounting that accounting is a language, what is happening when you're selling, when you're paying, how you are recording it, how you're keeping track of it. Finance, there is only one major principle. Finance is about risk. All business is about risk. So finance is that part of the business which says, कितना risk हम ले सकते हैं, कितना लेना चाहिए. अगर 0 risk लोगे तो business में मत रहो, जाके सन्यासी बन जाओ. So the idea of taking 0 risk doesn't work. 0 risk is a stupid idea. But to say I will take too much risk means you are inviting bankruptcy, you are inviting trouble. What is the right amount of risk? It can't be 0, it can't be 100. And in which situation can you take what risk? Today with COVID, what risk are you willing to take? Tomorrow without COVID, what risk you are willing to take? And I will tell you something very interesting. As the country is now going into opening up from lockdown, I am advising all the businesses that I am associated with to take more risk. You will be surprised. Why should we take more risk today? Because today things are so bad, they are only going to get better. Sales are only going to go up. So today is the right time to take more risk. So finance is about risk. And one of the biggest issues of risk as you business, you will understand, is cash. A business can be fantastic. You can be doing very well. You can be selling. Everybody can like the television set that you make. But if you run out of cash, you're in deep trouble. So and it's generally a good rule that when you're profitable and growing, you should borrow. When your profits are coming down and growth is coming down, you should not borrow. So at any given point in time, how much you borrow is also part of the risk. So finance is about risk and is about various. You keep thinking back, make this note. At the end of 2 years, if you can say finance, risk, these different risks, cash risk, borrowing risk, timing risk, yes. You don't need to be an expert. Unless you want to be a finance major, then you can do other things. But any MBA must know this, must know how to react to the finance issues. Because if you don't, you can't be a good business person. Marketing. Marketing, in some sense, is what life is all about. It's more than MBA. Everybody is in marketing. I am in marketing. When I'm talking to you, I am marketing myself. I am selling myself. I am selling my ideas. I am trying to convince you that my ideas are good. You are marketing yourself. You are saying, I'm a good MBA candidate. Please, I can work. I can help you. Each of us is in marketing. In fact, even religious leaders, dogmas, their doctrines, everybody, every human being, every politician is in marketing. He's marketing his ideology, his personality. So marketing is in fact much more than an MBA. So don't confuse it only with what you learn in MBA. In MBA, you will learn about pricing, product, promotion, branding, advertising. All are good things, learn them. But try and keep at the back of your mind. An engineer has to do marketing. A doctor, doctors have to do marketing. Doctors have to tell orthopedic doctor will go and tell the MBBS doctor, yeah, one of your patients has a spinal problem, send him to me. He has to do marketing. Everybody has to do. Lawyer has to do marketing. He has to say, aapka koi problem hai to hamare paas aa jao, I can take care of it. Everybody in any business, in any profession. So marketing is more an attitude. Yes, you will be taught many techniques. You will be taught many details. But marketing, above all, is about humility. I was watching Narendra Modi in these conversations that he was having with the people of India. If you think about why he was successful in his marketing communication, was because he was humble. He treated the citizens of India as his customers. And to a customer, you're always humble. Saab, please kharid. When the vegetable vendor comes to your house, Saab, aam kharid lo, achhe aam hai. He is being humble and he is treating you with respect. That's what Modi did. Mere ko ek din de do. Mere ko 2 hafte de do. Mujhe maaf kar do. I am sorry I am troubling you. That was simply brilliant marketing communication. So I want to leave you only with this idea, that if you have humility and you have respect for the customer, which goes back to the very first point I made, as soon as you enter FOSTIIMA, please shake hands and be respectful. Do not be disrespectful. You have to respect your colleagues. You have to respect your customers. Now the third, and in some sense, particularly in the next 20, 30 years of your career, which is going to be the single most important thing, is HR, human resources, human relations. Ultimately, unless you're a sadhu living in Rishikesh, all of us live with other people. You cannot have a business all alone. You have to work with colleagues with bosses, with people below you. Equals, bosses, people below you. And you have to understand how this magic works. Because you think about it, chimpanzees cannot build a Taj Mahal. Only a human beings can build. Because human beings, there is an architect, there is a sculptor, there is a mason, there is somebody who digs the ground, there is a financier, there is a king who orders it. There's all of them working together to create a building. No, there is no other species in this planet. I mean, I know ants can build pretty big things and so on, but nobody can build a city. We can build a city, human beings. And one of the reasons is we are able to work together. And those companies, those individuals, those groups who are able to work more efficiently together, they succeed. If there are two armies, and one army, the soldiers and the generals and the officers are able to work together, they will defeat the other army where the soldiers and the generals and the officers are not able to work together. Working together. What is the key thing there? To go back to the first principle I said, respect. Now, respect doesn't mean you tolerate incompetence. So if you find a colleague is not competent, you still treat the colleague with respect. You don't make fun of the colleague. You disagree in a respectful way. You don't destroy the colleague's ego or confidence, but you, particularly with bosses, it's very difficult to disagree with bosses, and you have to be very careful because bosses tend to have very strong egos. So many times, one strategy you should do is you should agree with the boss. And then later, if you have a disagreement, put it in a different context and bring your point of view across. Always respectful. But the biggest challenge for MBAs is not just bosses, it is your equals. Most MBAs do not invest enough time and effort in getting along with their equals, their classmates, their colleagues. Because very soon, if you are popular with your colleagues, if your colleagues say, hey, this fellow is good to work with, he works hard, he's not a kamchor, kaam karega. What gets around? Everybody in the company, even the boss will get to hear it. Acha, his colleagues like him. You must invest time in that. And there are lots of techniques that your HR courses you will pick up. How to deal with people with respect, how to work in teams, how to make sure that teams are successful, how to earn the respects of your colleagues and your peers. Please keep that in mind. So now let me go back and re-summarize, because I've always noticed people forget where we started and where we come. This is a postgraduate program. It is not an undergraduate program. The last 15 years of your schooling and college in India, generally you have been taught to make fun of people, to be disrespectful, to bully, etc. Has to go. Starting today, you are entering the adult world, the professional world, the world of respect, the world of courtesy. That is very, very important. Two, this is not about simply spending 3 years sitting in the canteen and getting a diploma and running away. It's money. And most importantly, 2 years of your life. You must study, you must learn. This is not about teaching as much about learning. Those are your entry things, the three basics: accounting, economics, and cost accounting. And accounting, the main idea is accrual. Please read your lecture notes, read your textbooks, attend your classes, ask as many questions of your professors to clear your doubts. so that you have mastery over this idea. Because the next 20, 30 years, you have to live with that. Okay? Economics, remember, whatever anybody may say, it's theoretical. There is nothing theoretical about this. If you cut price, your sales will come. This is not theoretical, this is real. And the price that the customer is willing to pay has nothing to do with your cost. Remember that it has everything to do with your competitor's price, not with your cost. And in cost accounting, remember, variable cost and fixed cost, they are two separate things. And what is break-even? Again, ask as many questions. Don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. Please ask questions. Ask your professors and use your 2 years to the fullest extent and get these answers. The three more sophisticated disciplines. Finance. Finance is about risk. Whatever people may tell you, the rest is all. Yes, it's about cash flow. Yes, it is about debt equity. It is about share price. All that you will learn. Those are all technical details. But the philosophical issue of finance is risk. How much risk? As I told you earlier, zero risk means zero return. Zero risk is you might as well go back and become a sadhu. You can't take zero risk, but you can't take too much risk. How does one manage that tension? That is what finance is about. Marketing is frankly far more than an MBA. So what you learn in MBA is important, but marketing is an attitude to life. Every husband is marketing himself to a wife. Every wife is marketing herself to a husband. Every parent is marketing himself or herself to a child. Every child is marketing himself for her. So marketing is a way of life, and it starts with the first principle I talked about, respect and humility. And I left to you with the Narendra Modi COVID example. Keep that in your mind. Learn all your techniques, all your details. Promotion kaise karna hai, branding kaise karna hai, advertising kaise karna hai, product ko kaise banana hai, kya color dena hai, where to put it in the supermarket shelf, digital mein kaise kare, all that you should learn. Those are details you will be taught and you will learn. But keep this in mind, it is about respect, humility, and that all of us are. Lastly, I end with that because that is the most important thing. HR, human relationships. How do you manage it? Invest as much as possible in how you manage your relationships with your classmates, with your friends. Do not take that as a light matter. Arey boss ko khush rakhenge. That is not going to help you. And there I want to give you one important thing about MBA. The single greatest asset that you will acquire in 2 years is the network. 100 seniors, 100 juniors, and 100 classmates. There are 300 people you will know, or 150, 450 people, whatever. The number that is there. Who will be your friends for the next 30 years? So before anybody recruits you, they will say, ye kaisa aadmi hai, tere saath tha, school mein, acha hai. So you want everybody to say good things about you. You want to keep in touch with them. After you graduate every year, you must come back to alumni reunions. You must be part of the... You don't know how it will help. I went to, Ahmedabad in 1970s. 25 years later, I started a company. And how did I meet my investors? Somebody from Ahmedabad introduced me to somebody who introduced me to somebody. I met the investor. I know. So that network, and because I was respected, because I had friends, they said, ye Rao acha aadmi hai, usko de do paisa. So mere ko paise mil gaye. I started my business. So remember this, you must invest in the network. MBA is nothing if it is not about network. And those who don't invest in that, who are lonely people who spend 2 years just by themselves, not making friends, they are the losers. Those who make friends, who earn the respect, who are nice. And by the way, people will remember. If you cheat, or if you do something wrong or bad, or you say bad things about somebody, people remember the bad things also. 10 years from now, they'll say, "Oh, वो ठीक नहीं था, वो कुछ झूठ बोलता था." They will remember. So please take these 2 years very seriously. Invest in friendships, invest in relationship, cultivate the network. The network is going to be your biggest asset for the next 20, 30 years. Welcome to FOSTIIMA. I'm glad you've been selected by FOSTIIMA. I'm glad you have selected FOSTIIMA. You will have a good time. You will learn good things. And I've given you a very, very broad picture of the 3 basic disciplines and the 3 sophisticated disciplines. There will be many, many more things you will learn. Logistics management, supply chain, digital marketing. Good. Learn them all. Compensation techniques. All of them you will learn. Those are details and you must master them. Good luck. Do well. Welcome to FOSTIIMA.
Jerry, why don't you look into the chat box of yours if there are any questions over there?
I can't see the chat box. 1 second. Let me see. Okay. No, there are no questions right now.
There are no questions right now. So, okay. So I think that brings us to the end of the lecture. Let me put on my video so that everybody can see.
There is one. What is the secret to success of business? Good question. This is actually a good question, but a dangerous question, because it assumes that there is one secret. It is not like that. I think the important thing is in business is, even when things go wrong, today's hard work may not pay off today. Your MBA hard work is going to pay off over 20 years. Some of it will pay off immediately, others will pay off later. What is the secret of success of business? I think the biggest secret is to have a mixture of patience, confidence, and hope. Second question, sir, scope of operations management, right? 1 second. I lost that question. Then, sir, saw your this is moving too fast. I'm losing stuff before I can read. Sir, why college is not AIU approved? I don't know what that means. Somani, you can deal with that. Some people are introvert in nature. For them, networking is a tough nature. Then one should not be in business. You should go and become a sadhu in Himalayas. You have to get rid of your introvert nature and become more extrovert. That is very important. You have to have friends. People have to respect you. They have to like you. Sir, state some point to handle marketing pressure. Well, I mean, look, if there is no pressure in life, then there is no fun also. So I don't think you should take a look at pressure as a negative. Pressure is the source which gives you energy. And that if you start looking at it that way, I don't think you will worry too much about pressure. You will take it as a positive. Sir, saw your interview on Quint regarding Hinduism. Will you please tell us how we can apply principles of Hinduism in management? My friend, religious principles have to be applies not just in management. So I wouldn't get into that kind of a discussion. For management, let us stick to accounting, cost accounting, economics, finance, HR, and marketing. Sir, can you please elaborate about investment banking? Well, investment banking is a sub part of banking. Banking generally is about taking deposits and making loans. Investment banking is about helping companies to raise debt, to raise equity, to do IPOs. It's a kind of specialty within banking. It is understand. And I was telling you earlier about networking. The single biggest thing in investment banking is networking. If you are not a good networker, you cannot be a successful investment banker. All good investment bankers are excellent networkers. So other than respect, what other factors will make a good manager? I have told you about then. What are the problems faced by an entrepreneur in the economy? Well, all kinds of problems are faced, but the whole purpose of the MBA is to help you deal with the problems. How much our MBA scores affect during MBA? I don't understand that question. Sunil, Anil, you can answer that. What is the unrest to Franklin Templeton as they're winding up funds? How do you see it? I really don't know too much about it. I think Rajiv Kansal may be able to answer that. He is usually good at these things. Sir, is marketing all about sales? No, sales is one part of marketing. Advertising, promotion, pricing, branding, where you put it in the supermarket, where you put it in the digital basket. All of those are part of marketing. Sales is one of them. SEO analytics, how FOSTIIMA will gonna teach this software to us? As I said, there will be lots of specialized courses. You will learn analytics, you will learn data analytics, you will learn digital marketing. My job here was not to talk about the specialized advanced courses of the second year, but to give you the basic ideas in an MBA. Sir, tell us something about operations management. Well, operations management is basically end-to-end. How do you manage a process? So if you're running a chemical factory or importing chemicals from China, they come to the harbor in Navi Mumbai. From there, they come onto a truck. They come to your factory. They are stored there, and they have to be stored properly so that there is no accident. People don't die, don't get poisoned. There is safety, and they are removed by your workers. They are processed, and after the processing, they have to be packed, and they have to be again loaded onto trucks. Sent. So this end-to-end is what operations management is about. And it's fascinating because you can make mistakes everywhere and you have opportunities everywhere. If instead of 2 trucks, you can bring the stuff in 1 truck, you save money. If you can improve your safety record, you save money. So operations management is a very fascinating area. And those who want to specialize there, I would encourage them. So what is the best profession in MBA? Well, I think all of them are good. Don't believe anybody who tells you rubbish. They're all good. Then how will she make friends? You have to make friends, my friend. Is there any difference in learning management through online learning due to this pandemic instead of practical learning? You know, online learning is good, but it is not going to solve everything. You need both. Online, you can do many things, but at the end of the day, to network, to gain respect, to understand human beings, you have to come to the campus. I am hoping soon you will be able to, without any problems to your safety. You have to do both. Those who think online alone will do, I think are making a big mistake. Sir, I have just completed 5 years in MNC. I already leave now. I've decided, kindly suggest, is it the right thing to do? Absolutely, you must get the MBA. I said it right in the beginning. Don't pursue a career in management without getting an MBA. You will always be at a handicap. What is the scope of international business? Is it beneficial to take marketing with it? Yes, there is always good to take marketing and international business. Please go ahead. Sir, how the shares of company, too many questions are increase and decrease. Well, you have to take some finance courses, young friend. You can't get all this information just like that in a 1-hour lecture. I can only give you basics. You will learn why share prices go up, why share prices come down when you take the proper finance course. What decision would you take in this COVID era? I would take the MBA. I would take the program, and I would not do only online. I would come to the campus. I would do both. I hope you can do it soon. We are all praying that will happen. What else? Said my MBA is transformation from student to manager. How can we best managers? State some points. I already told you, basically respect is where you start. If you start with respect, many things automatically come. So what is the best combination with finance? You will find out at the end of first year. You will make your own choice. Sir, is a duo HR and finance well suited to be pursued? Yes, provided you like it, provided. So what is the best profile to get in MBA in finance? Hey, it depends. If you like it and you enjoy it, you will get it. My internet connection is unstable. I may lose it. Can you please explore more about finance? No, not in this 1-hour lecture. You have 2 full years to explore, my friend. Please use those years productively. Sir, will my 5-year experience help me to make good placement? Yes, it will. What qualities one should have to become a good financial advisor? Respect is the most important thing. After that, you have to be technically good. You have to understand finance. You have to work hard. You can't get it easily. If you think you can get your course knowledge without working hard, that's not going to happen. Is there any tool to be consistent in MBA? Yes, actually, that's a very good question. My own advice is don't postpone studies. What is required for tomorrow's lecture, do it the previous day. Don't say, I will read at the end of the month. I will read at the end of the week. Try and be ahead of your studies. That's always a good tool. And later in life, as a manager, you will find that's a good tool to be prepared for your meeting ahead of the meeting. Yeah, how will we interact? As most of the time we are online, I hope that will change. I really sincerely hope. Merely online, in my personal humble opinion, is not good. You need to be together. Is there any drawback being a fresher? No, none at all. Is 2-year work experience, will this good? It is good. Is choosing a subject is difficult? What all practice should we do to choose? There is no such.
Jerry, I think the questions are getting repetitive.
Yeah.
So
I think we've covered most of them. I'm very grateful to all of them for having spent so much time listening, and I hope they enjoyed it.
So thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, for having agreed to deliver this very interesting.
Okay, can we close?
Just let me just speak for 5 minutes, and then after that there'll be a poll, and then if you want to stay on for 5 more minutes, and then you can leave, Jerry. Okay. So thank you very much for delivering such an interesting lecture in a very, very simplified manner. Dear students, as you all know, that we have actually arranged for you a host of eminent speakers to deliver these knowledge sessions. But then, as you must have all seen, Jerry Rao was different. And the fact is that Jerry is different. Let me be honest with you. Let me share this with you, that I, Anil Sumani, have been impressed, and I normally do not get impressed with very many people, but then Jerry Rao is one such person who has really impressed me and left an impression on me. I mean, he's one of those people that you meet once in your lifetime and he leaves a lasting impression on you, and which I think this 1 hour lecture must have also left on all of you. You would have noticed that never once did he falter while he spoke to all of you for 1 hour. Such an amazing control over his English language. What his biodata doesn't talk of is his vast knowledge on variety and a host of subjects, especially history and Indian mythology. There would be occasions when you would run out of arguments and Jerry would dip into some analogy from the Indian mythology which would leave you gaping. This knowledge, vast knowledge, this knowledge of Indian mythology, knowledge of history has actually led in a very big way to his successful decision making and his business. Jerry has a very sharp mind, as we have seen, like in today's lecture. Many of you must be thinking that let's have 4 or 5 such lectures and then we don't need to pay the fat fees to FOSTIIMA Business School. We don't need to actually do an MBA. We've been trying for a very long time to see that Jerry comes and teaches at FOSTIIMA. I think the time has now come. We can have a mixture of online plus in-class immersion sessions with Jerry Rao teaching you all. I think today, on behalf of all of you, I would request Jerry to be a faculty at FOSTIIMA Business School. Let this batch benefit. So Jerry, please confirm the thing.
I agree. Both online and on campus.
Very good. That's very good.
Okay. I want to do it on campus.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I would request the host to please conduct the poll before we end the lecture. Thank you, Jerry. If you want, you can log off.
Thank you so much. Bye.